Okay, our little section over here is finished now. Like, we've got our elephants in here. They're super happy. It kind of looks like there's more food than they can manage. I'm going to put another feeding trough in here, and it gives them a reason to use this space a bit more. But they're all in. They're super happy, which means I'm super happy, and we can move on from their habitat. And we do have our new deer in here, so I am very excited for them. Where are they? They're underneath where I was. They're in here. Got our Père David's deer in here. I'm actually really excited about the species. I want to get these guys breeding so we can start to repopulate the species that desperately need it. Until then, we'll just do poops in front of the guests, like just directly in front of them. But they seem pretty happy in here. Have they got everything they need? Yeah, the nutrition could be better. That's actually something we haven't done in a while. Let's have a look at our vet research. It looks like we finished it. Oh, for these guys and the spectacled flying fox. Perfect. I think we've researched all of our animals then. Yeah. Wow. Okay, that's amazing. Well, let's go into our food tab on the animals section. And let's put all of the food up to grade 3 quality. So we are doing as much animal ethics as we can. We're giving the highest quality food we possibly can. And it looks like... Oh, they haven't used the big food trough we gave them yet. So I was going to say there's some food on the floor, but they haven't used this yet. So I think that'll be enough for them. Let's go look at our spectacled flying fox. Now, these guys are nocturnal, you were saying. So what I'm going to do first is... Which, you're completely right. I'd kind of forgotten about that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add in the enrichment that they're missing. Because at the minute, they've only got the first level. So what are these? The fruit skewers. Oh, okay, yeah. In a tree, but that's cool. And then we've got a rope for them to hang on. You can't really see this stuff very well because of all the trees. Where is the rope? Oh, wow. They just dropped from the ceiling. Does it become visible anywhere? I actually can't see. I think it might be down here. No, it's just the bats. I actually can't see it. I'm probably blind and I'm looking straight at it. Oh, is it here? I actually don't know. I can't figure out, but I'm going to add it in. I'm going to add in the other fruit skewer, and then we'll do the same on the other side, and we're going to have a perch box. Now, that surely we'll see. Yes. The perch box I can definitely see, and then we've got a couple of perch frames in here as well, and a perch rope. So let's put them in. Oh, yeah, they're back here. You can see them. Going to do the same on the other side, give them all the enrichment that they need, and... then I'm going to go about reducing the amount of trees, I think, so they can actually use some of their stuff. Oh, you can see the ropes in here much better, actually, on this side. I mean, it looks full. And they do nest in the trees, so maybe we should leave them as they are. But, crucially, they are nocturnal. And whilst that is fine, what we don't want is our guests coming in here while they're sleeping. That's the issue with nocturnal animals, is... really, like, you kind of want them on the opposite to what they are in real life. Like, you kind of want to make it seem like daytime when it's actually nighttime for them, and then have the opposite be true when the guests are going to be in here, because the guests are going to come in the daytime and they're going to wake them up while they're trying to sleep. Oh, look, that's a fruit skewer. That's so cool. They've got apples on the thing. That's amazing. I kind of like that it feels really full in here. I think that's good. But what I am going to do is I'm going to edit it so that it's not all glass on the top. I think they need to have a solid roof, annoyingly. So let's have this be solid and this one be a solid roof. And then what we can do is we can really get rid of the daylight, which is a massive shame, but we're going to have to add in some lights instead. So let's have a look in construction and see what lights we have. And what we'll basically do with them is we'll turn these off in the day. We'll have to give some low-level lighting, but they would have low-level lighting that guests will be able to use to navigate through. So what I'm thinking is maybe we just put some path lights in here. And then they can help the guests navigate a little bit. And we will have them... I'm going to put them always on, but we know that they're actually... In fact, I won't. I'm going to leave them on automatic. So they should come on when it's dark, because then we'll know if it's actually dark enough or not. And then I'm trying to think how much we want them along here. We probably want them... Let's put them here. We don't need loads. that is probably sufficient. Because it's just enough that they can see, but it's supposed to still be dark. So let's add these in over here as well. We'll put them on the other side. And then they're in here. And that should light it up if it gets dark in here. So now what we can do is we can really just take out these sections and put in the clay all the way up. Okay, now we've built this up, I think we can then put in a nice mulch floor like we did here. And get some plants going on here. Make it a nice green roof like the rest of it. Okay, that looks good. Now we've got a nice green roof to go with the others. And it fits in a bit better. And now it will be very dark inside because it's completely enclosed. But I don't just want to leave it like this. I want to give them some sun. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in some other lights. And in fact, I can just go on lights here. I don't have to type in light. So we need a light that's going to give them some light in what will be their daytime, which will be nighttime here. And that's when they can sleep as well as everyone else. So I think we could keep it in the Africa theme and use these wall lights. I'm just wondering if they're powerful enough or if we need bigger ones. I think I might use the New World area light and put them in a few locations. How bright are they if we turn them on? Oh, they're quite bright. That's actually really good. That's a good level. Right, so we want one of them there. I think I'm going to put like 9 of them in. It would have been easier to do this before I put the solid ceiling on as well, I'm just realizing. But that's not too bad. And now we've got these in here. I don't think that's too bad at all. I'm just going to move these slightly to the left, these ones. And then I think that's pretty good. And we should actually put them to be always off. I should have done that before I placed all of them. Oh my goodness, I've got to click on them all individually now. And then it's still very light in here because we've got the daylight streaming through. So we're going to need to probably triple up these PVC curtains. PVC strip curtain. There they are. All right, let's put another one here. It's still very light in here, which is a bit confusing. Because in the other room over here, it is considerably darker when we've done the same thing. But I guess there's only so much darkness that these PVC strips actually give you. You can keep doubling them up. Well, this is basically as much as we can do. In theory, it's all worked, and it's as good as it should be, but in practice, I don't know if it actually has made it dark in here. But currently, there's like 6 layers of PVC strip curtain you got to push through to get in here, and then that will block out so much light. Like, that would really block out the light. There's very heavy-duty ones here, and we've completely sealed the building off, so it'll be much, much darker now in there, which is what we want, because although then, yeah, like, I understand that they're nocturnal, and how I've done it before does work generally for nocturnal animals, because they need daylight too, that's when they sleep. If you've got guests going through there on the times that they should be sleeping, that's quite disruptive to their sleep patterns, so it's better that we create an artificially dark environment during the day, And then at night, we can put some lights on that give the illusion of daytime, and they'll just think it's daylight. And they'll be perfectly happy sleeping during that. And then it goes back to what is actually daytime, and it's dark again, and they're active. So the guests can see them during the time that they're active, which is perfect for the guests. But it's also so much better for the animals because they're not being disturbed during their sleeping hours. They're being disturbed during their waking hours when they're already flying about and having fun. So it's kind of a win-win. Well, we've got a power source failed over here. It's because it's not in a work zone. That is why. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense because it's a new one because I deleted the other one. So maintenance 1 is over here. Maintenance 2 is in this area. We do need to add that in. And we need to add in the education talks that I've missed, because they also fall under maintenance, I believe. So that is all good. Cool. Did I put the ones in for the flying foxes? Yes, I did. Cool. The 1 in there. Yeah. Perfect. Okay. We can just get a person on that ASAP. The other thing we didn't do is actually put in any water treatment over here. So this, the cleanliness of this is going to go so far down. I can't believe I missed that. So let's add in some water treatment. I'm thinking we can just have a little hut probably over here. If we extend this path out. Let's put a little water treatment hut back here. That's not going to impact guests negatively. And then we can put a water temperature regulator one there as well and connect them both up. And they are also going to need power. So if I add in a power source here, I think this will also break the path, which is what we want. And then we can put in, yeah, a little staff path section there. Perfect. And now I can move this to be part of this structure. It should really be on the roof, so I'm going to try that. Something like this. And then create a little path that goes down. That seems to work fairly well. Now let's put in the stuff that doesn't make it look weird. So this is in the Asia section. So really it's kind of a bamboo structure is all we've got. Again, I'm going to use the painted bamboo because I think it's quite cool. So let's use that and make ourselves a little hut in here. Okay, I think that looks cute. It's a little hut and it works. And it's a little bit more interesting than just being plain, so it's got a little bit of something to it. But this also needs to go into our maintenance 2 work zone, so we've got something there. There we are. And now this will be cleaned, and yeah, we go. Cleanliness 100%, and it should be the right temperature too, which I believe is 20 we've left them on. Yeah, because that's kind of in their temperature zone. If we go on the Zoopedia, we can check what theirs is. But I think for most of the animals, it's kind of in the right area. Yeah, 13 to 42. So 20 is probably quite nice for them. That's like cooling and refreshing, but not too cold for them. And look at the sunset with our deer here. I think these guys are so cool. I'm obsessed with the antlers on the male. I just think they're so awesome. Look at them. What a beautiful animal. I don't think there's anything much more we need to do on this side. Oh, actually, I've realized I was going to add something like this to the elephant's sleeping structure because they're completely exposed on all sides. So I think what I'm going to do is I am going to add in a little section here. And in fact, I can use these logs. Let's edit this and duplicate these along. What I want to do is just create a little bit that's going to be sheltered from the elements, so that they're not too exposed along here. I think that's probably good, just to give them a little bit of shelter over here. And they're still completely accessible, and the guests can see them through this section here. But they do have that little bit more protection from the elements. I think that works. And I do kind of think that maybe we should put in a little hut for the male, even though they wouldn't have it. You know, like, even though they can't use this on their own, it is supposed to be just for them. So I think let's put in a little structure on the back here. There's just a little bit of a shelter for them. In fact, I'm going to use the 4-meter log pieces, I think, because I don't think it will need to be longer than that, like taller than that. 4 meters should be high enough. Yeah, that seems high enough. I think that's pretty good, and we've got an elephant over here anyway, but this is a pretty decent shelter for them that just gives them a little bit of something. If the male's here on their own, they've definitely got enough shelter now just for them. They can huddle in there and be happy. So I think that covers that quite well. I do also really want to sort out the Dama Gazelle situation because we have so many baby males, and although at the minute we've got loads of them that are going to mature at the same time, we have had it before where only like 1 or 2 are matured, and I want to have somewhere that they can go which is safe for them before we're ready to release them into the wild, because we're only going to release them in groups of at least 3. So we don't want to... Oh, look, they're starting to mature as well, the males. So this is perfect timing. I don't think we've got any males that have matured yet, but I do want to check that because they are going to fight with Kevin, which isn't good. Oh, we do. Okay, so there's one here already. So what I'm going to do is send them to the trade center, and then everyone else I'm going to pause, and then everyone else hasn't matured yet, so we can just move them straight into the habitat. Now, where do we want to put it? That's the only thing, because I'd like it to be in the Africa zone, and it could be back here, because it doesn't have to be... It's not really like a habitat as much. It's more like the guests can need to see. It's more just for the actual animals themselves. Or it could also go back here. I'm trying to think what would be better. I feel like maybe a path through here is a better option, because we can delete this path as well. It doesn't really matter where the guests join. Like, it doesn't really matter if the guests have access to that at the start. This is fine as its own path. And then if we maybe have a 7-meter path that comes off of here, that would work. I think that works, and then we can just have this one be staff path, and then the guests know that they can't go up here. I think that works, and now we have access through here. It's just going to be for one habitat, but that's absolutely fine. And we can put in some hedges or something so the staff here don't have to be bothered by these guys. In fact, if we go on biome, if it's temperate biome in North America, which of these plants will be tall enough? We've got bramble bushes on that tall, that's the problem. We've got reeds, buffalo grass is too short. I want like a hedgerow. I mean, we can put in a hedgerow, I just wanted something... hawthorn might be better. Something that's a bit more interesting than just an actual like pruned hedge. Because we've got the wild hedgerows, we've not used them for anything. Maybe we just put in the wild hedgerows here. It's just they're quite short actually. Let's make it interesting. Let's put in the... what was it? The hawthorn. Hawthorn bush is much taller as well, so let's do that. There we go. I think that works. Now they can come through here. And they've got a little access to a small habitat out the back. I don't think we're going to have many gazelle in here. So if we click on our Dama Gazelle, we can bring up the Zoopedia and see how many it would be. So let's say we've got space for like 8 maximum. Let's say we have 1,000 meters. How many would that hold? 10. 10 is, we're not going to have more than 10. So that should be perfectly fine. And I am just going to use the same. We can even use our original fence design here with the Africa fencing, which I think is probably nicer. Just have the doubled up fencing and continue that around the back here for 1,000 meters. So in order to determine where our habitat is with the 1,000 square meters, let's put a small habitat gate in here because that's the right height as well. And then we can just use null barriers and keep building out here. Why is that obstructed? We can build a fence out here. Is it because the land goes up? I think it is. And it's too small. No. That's really odd. Okay, well, we'll try it the other way. There we go. Well, that works for some reason. That was very odd, but it connected in the end. And how big is this area here? 576. We need to make it a little bit bigger than this, but we're on the right tracks anyway. You could probably have it extend one out. No, it's not going to quite make it. Let's keep going this way. Okay, that's it. 1,000 meters squared there. That makes sense. Let's get the fence and copy it over now, because we can use this fence we have here, seeing as there's no guests here, really. On this edge, we'll use like the privacy screen one, but I think the rest of the habitat is fine just being this fencing here. So I'm going to continue this fence along this way with these. Okay, that looks reasonable to me. Now, let's get them in here and see what it's like. So if we go to our animal trading, we've got the one we just removed. Let's put them in this habitat and we can call it Dama Gazelle males. And then we know that this is the one that just the males are waiting in before we release them into the wild. And we're going to need to give them some shelter. So I think we'll make one of those little mud huts over here as well, and this side. And this one can be completely open because the guests aren't going to see it. So they're not going to mind at all. And I'm also going to throw a couple of heaters in here because I think they're going to need them. So instead of putting the big pillars in, because that was really for the tortoises, I'm going to just put a heater here and a heater on the other side over here. And these are going to be set to 30 degrees is probably fine, actually. So I'm going to leave that on 30 and see what it comes up with. Although I don't know what these guys want for temperatures, and it is going to hit them a little bit on that side of the habitat. So let's check out what the Père David's deer like for their... Oh, so 4 to 31. So 30 is quite intense for them. We could make it so that the one on this side will have it be like 20. And then this one over here can be 30, because I don't know what the range is actually going to be like. Let's have the range on this one be 10. And then we know that it's at least 20, but it's going to be 30 on that side over here. Or we move the whole thing, which we can also do. And maybe that is better, and have it on the hill over here. That might be better. And that way we can probably put it more to like 25. I don't think they're going to... Well, in fact, if we put it on 30, then let's make this one range 10 and the other one range 20. And they'll be limited to their habitat. If I hit play, our gazelle will hopefully enter the habitat soon as well. And do we have any other males that have grown up? That's the main question. Because they can move over also. Just got Kevin right now, but this one is about to mature. Salamder. This one's about to mature here. And actually, what temperature do you guys live at? Let's check it. 3 to 43. So yeah, 30 is probably good for them as a temperature. Now, I do want to put everything that they need in there. So let's get the habitat tab up and filter by the Dama Gazelle. And then we can put some enrichment in for them and some water. Thankfully, we are near a water source, I believe, like a water cleaning. Oh, we're not. Oh, no. Okay. In fact, this one isn't touching this anymore. It should be, though. Oh, I think that's because it's slowly breaking down. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, it's not fine, but it is in range normally. It just needs maintenance. This guy's in here. They're happy. I do wonder, maybe in this case, instead of doing a whole other water treatment thing, maybe we just give them a water pipe in here. And that way they've still got water. But we don't need to create a whole swimming thing for them, because I don't think they even swim, the Dama Gazelle. I don't think they have... Yeah, they don't have any water requirements. They just want land. So let's give them a water pipe, and then we can give them a large food trough over here, and then some enrichment that matches what they want. That seems like a good idea. Have a graze ball feeder. Let's give them a grab ball, and then a scarecrow feeder. And a rubbing pillar back here would probably be cool. And just lots of feeders, really. Oh, and they've got a herb scent marker. Okay, well, let's give them a herb scent marker around the back over here to have a bit of interest. And let's give them another grab ball over here. And they've got a few toys, haven't they? How happy are you with that? Super happy, but you don't like being on your own, I imagine. Social, yeah, the social group is 0. And the terrain is 29. So let's fix the terrain. So it's supposed to have less long grass, more soil. Well, we can definitely do that. Oh my goodness, they've escaped. Okay, let's emergency capture you. I should have checked that. Yeah, this is probably not high enough on this end. I can't remember how tall they needed it to be, but it's because this is just shy, I think, over here. Yeah. Right, well, let's pick up this section of fence as much as we can. Let's see how that does. We'll put them back in and see. And there's no... Yeah, it's not in a work zone. Yep, absolutely fine. Let's add it to the Africa work zone. That will be included. And it's nice and close to all the keeper huts and everything, so it shouldn't be too much of an extra burden for our staff. And now Salamder has matured. Let's move you into this habitat. You can go on with the other males. And where are the others? Have any of the others matured? No, not yet. This one will be very soon, though, I imagine. 1.3. I suppose the only other issue is that we don't have enough of them. If there aren't 3, we don't have enough. So maybe we should even just buy another male that we can then release to the wild after. Oh, it's only females, but maybe that's a good idea, and then we can keep some of them in here. Oh, we're gonna have a baby otter as well. It's amazing. But then we can keep a small group of males in here so that if they leave, they can join the group of males, and then we can release them in batches of 3, but making sure that we keep 3 males at all times over here. Because right now there's only one of them, and there's gonna be 2 when we move the other one in. So 2 is not enough. I believe they want groups of 3+. Yeah, 3 to 20. So in the meantime, what I'm going to do to resolve this is move Kevin into this habitat. And then we just need to move Kevin back as soon as we can because he is our breeding male. Oh, they've already escaped. I'm going to move you back in here. And then let's click on habitat. Oh, you can jump out everywhere. Okay, well, let's raise these up. Okay, they now can't escape. We do have one of them that's gone running, though, so I don't actually know where it's gone. Oh, it's only here. Let's call the vet. We can get the vet now. We don't need to emergency capture them. The vet can do that. Where is our vet as well? Let's just move them over. Give you a little helping hand. They're over here. Let's put you on the path there. I think they have to leave the path on their own. Oh, they go through the habitat. No, they run through the path. How do they get to them? Oh, I'm just going to do an emergency capture. I don't understand that. And they'll come collect them. Well, they're in here successfully anyway. Successfully is a vague term, but they are in here. And the mechanics can't reach the habitat. Why do the mechanics need to reach it, really? Have we added them in? We have. Okay. Well, we'll give them access as well. It's because they don't have any barrier maintenance to do other than this tiny gate here. But they do need to maintain the gate, I guess. And we're about to have more baby tortoises. Oh my goodness. What a day. I think they only breed when they go all the way into the thing. So I'm going to move them right over here to give them a helping hand. And then they can actually reproduce in the nest, which is where they want to go. And let's move this little baby out of the way. Other than that, our Dama Gazelle are nice and happy. And we've got this little section off here for the males, which is perfect. Now, they should have everything they want. They're almost good on the social group because we've got that one that's been captured, or it should be captured. Yeah, there we go. Once they get moved in, these guys will be happy and they can live in their little bachelor group. But they've got everything that they need. And we could even put some enrichment in so that if the guests do come this way, they can learn a little bit about the Dama Gazelle. Also got some fighting because I believe our Malayan tapir has grown up. I missed this. Okay, where are you? We've got Tapioca, bless them. 4.4 years old now. Are you fighting with... Oh, the mother's pregnant again. Where's your dad? How old is the dad in here? Tapioca's such a cute name as well. I can't even find the dad. Right, where is... what is his name again? Hangjabat. Yes. Oh, he's been kicked out. Interesting. Oh, he's here. He's 14 years old. Yeah, it's definitely Tapioca that's the young one. Well, let's release Tapioca into the wild. And then that is done and everyone is happy. And I think we should probably just put in a few trees that were over here as well because they haven't really got many trees. But we can put in a couple of palms and acacia trees and things like that. Just make it a little bit more interesting for these guys. Okay, that is probably good, if anything, a little bit too much. I might get rid of this tree at the back and replace it with the date palm. Because I think they might prefer that coverage-wise. Yeah, that's a bit better, isn't it? Could even put another date palm in. So I've got a few. But they don't really want much coverage for trees, so I think that's good for them. And now they've got 3 of them in here with the introduction of Kevin. Where is Kevin? I thought Kevin was in here. Kevin! Kevin! Where is he? Oh, he's here. He's having a drink. Oh, Kevin. What a jokester. Well, the 3 of them are in here. They should be pretty happy. Yeah, they seem good. They seem good. I like that. Well done, guys. Got your little grab ball and everything. Well, let's put some education in for these guys in case guests want to know a little bit more about them, and we can maybe get some more donations as well and help the species out. Let's just duplicate a couple of boards and put them over here. I'm sure... Oh my goodness. How have you escaped? You are escape artists today. Wow. Okay, well, let's move this fence up as well. How'd you feel about that? Yeah. Loser. Can't get out now. I'm going to have to emergency capture you for 1,000. But this should have fixed the issues we were having. I believe the fence is now fine. Yes. Okay, cool. That's good. Well, let's continue putting this in. Do we have power over here? We don't. In that case, I'm going to leave this. I'm going to put some donation bins in, but I don't think it's worth adding in education because it's such a small habitat and it's really just there for like the animals' welfare. It's not really there to teach guests about the animals. Like that is just over here. They can learn about them. I am going to put some bins in though because guests like to litter everywhere, which I absolutely hate, but it is a part of life, unfortunately, that people do that. And let's put some benches along to give everyone a little space to sit. There we go. That seems cute over here. They've got the shelter they need. They've got a little bit of they've got some donation bins. Got the normal bins over here. That is kind of everything they need. And these guys now function as a little habitat when this one gets put back in their group of 3. And when we have another male that grows up, we can put Kevin back in here as a breeding male and everyone will be good. Now, there is also another thing I wanted to do, which was under guest facilities to try and help out our food and drink situation, which is much improved since we added some more stuff in, some more shops. Everyone is still thirsty and they're probably a little bit hungry. And apparently everything's damaged. Oh my goodness, it is. Let's replace all of these. My goodness. Well, an easy fix for that is something we haven't really done actually, but we can just put in, if we take off blueprints, we can just put in some machines. We've got Cosmic Cow Ice Cream Vending Machine, Chief Beef Vending Machine. We could probably just put some drinks in everywhere, like have a gulpy vending machine over here, and that way the guests can just get some drinks wherever it's looking a little bit weak for our provision. So if we go guest needs and select thirst, everyone is quite thirsty around here and they have nothing to have. So let's put some in here. Even just having a gulpy vending machine and a Cosmic Cow milkshake right there, I think that's going to help us out quite a lot. And then we can have some water maybe there. And they will hopefully ease. Yeah, there we go. People are already going and having some. Other than that, we've got shops here and shops around here. I don't think anyone else is really feeling the needs too strongly. We could put some down here. Put like a water and a coffee maybe over here. That might help things out. But I don't think they're too bad right now. I love the food as well. Would you really get a burger out of a vending machine? the canned drinks, I understand, but like a burger? A burger from a vending machine? Really? You're going to trust that? Okay, these seem to be going down a tree over here. So hopefully that does help us out with the guest needs. I have a feeling it will. In fact, I'm going to add another one next to the water here because we don't really need this seat either. Let's put another coffee over here. We'll have water and coffee and milkshakes and energy drinks, and they can choose which one they want. But I think that solves the issues we were having. We've managed to resolve a crisis in the coming of the new Dama Gazelle males. We've already got them a little habitat, which massively helps us out for our releasing section of the breeding program. So it's just as important to have a proper plan for their release as it is for the breeding of the animals. So we can release as many back to the wild as possible. If you've enjoyed the video, please give it a like. It really helps the channel out. And I'll see you in the next one.